program I've ever done. Good morning. Henry McClure Live. This is camera 1. Got camera 2 working over here. So yesterday, I just woke up. But anyway, yesterday, I actually had the best show. I had 2 friends of mine call in and want to be on the show. And then right after that, Bianca called. And then I had this like moment. But a lot of them lately. But anyway, my stepdaughter, Jade Dunn, is in town from Thousand Oaks. And drinking my Plexus, the Drink the Pink and Shrink. And so Jade and Bianca and I went out to dinner. So Jade and Bianca are half sisters. I have a half brother, my brother Matt McClure. And Jade is actually, so she's my stepdaughter, Renee, from Renee McClure's first marriage to Bruce. And oh man, just real quick, like I saw pictures of Renee's and Bruce's wedding, and my God, Renee was like it was just like, it was like she didn't fit into the it's like she didn't fit in the pictures, but because she's just like this, it's like, okay, where'd Cinderella come from all of a sudden? You know what I mean? She was a stunner. When we got married, wasn't a more appropriate place to get married, but Bullhead City. Oh, yeah. Bullhead City, Arizona. But really, my life, I lived such a high-profile life that I thought I'd have a low-profile wedding. And Mark Klein and his wife, Leslie, we drove over and, oh, shit, did we have a time on the crap table? Renee, you know, I announced Virgin Roller. And after I had paid for, you know, all the drinks, the dinner, the guests, all the hotels for everybody. After I paid for all the expenses, Elio and his wife came over and had dinner. You know, after, you know, and I went home with like $5,000. Hey, that was the most profitable part of the marriage, was the wedding between Renee and I. You know, that's actually pretty funny. You think about it. Okay, we had a good roll. We had a good. We should have called quits early. Oh, poor Bianca. Man, I never forget. The other day, I told Bianca, I said, "Oh yeah, I should have married this Teresa girl." You know, Teresa's like this 6'1" blonde, just beautiful, and I've always liked tall women, you know. Henry McClure is not intimidated. But, you know, I think for me, dating bigger women is better, taller, preferably, not bigger. But, you know, it's a little more fair fight when it comes down to the wrestling match. All right, so today's the pre-party for the resurrection. But anyway, last night, so, you know, I spent half my money on women, drinking, and gambling. And the other half I wasted. That's W.C. Field said that. But I thought, well, let's just all go to the casino. And, you know, the casino, Prairie Bend, has got a lot of the buffet's good, and and I'm going to get to the steakhouse. But anyway, so I gave them each 100. Okay, here's a grub steak, and Jade likes to play the slots, and I guess Bianca too. But I said that's the slots are what fund this place. Not only did it pays for the renovations, the hotel, and they make money on it. It is the sure thing in gambling. A friend of mine used to say it's for the veal. But and I rolled the dice a little. I wanted just a little money. But we go to the Three Fires, and like they sat us in this booth, and it's just totally the Henry McClure booth because oh, by the way, the reason I'm going with camera 2 is because losing the show yesterday, which was actually one of the best shows ever. But at least I know that those shows are in my heart, and maybe we can reproduce them later. But the food at the Three Fires was awesome. So, I've got a plate. So I'm sitting here. I can see the kitchen over here. Perfect. I can see the front door over here. Perfect. I can see the whole dining room. Perfect. See my kids. Perfect. And I never felt closer to Jader in my life. I mean, we're born on July 13th. We both share the same birthday. And we have two things in common. Her mother has sent us both to therapy. So got that going for us. So we got that in common. And then you got this little sweet, innocent Bianca, and Jade's maturing. Jade's in human relations at a guitar company, and she talked about how she really wanted that job and went out and she went for that job. She got that job. She wanted to work there. But it was a good time. It was a great time. And for me, with my change in lifestyle, with the resurrection of Henry McClure, I mean, it was beautiful to talk to him about changes and stuff. Changes and stuff. I mean, how fucking lame is that? But I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my changes personally, and the miracle that happened to me. From it's 23 months, 13 days, 3.5 hours ago. So for you naysayers out there and skeptics and non-believers, if you knew Henry McClure, well, if you know me personally, come on, and the lifestyle, my zest for life, I was willing to touch the stove. What does that pill do? Okay, I take it. My go-to drug was always alcohol. Because it's the most reliable and consistent. It's more, I believe personally, it's a lot more physically addicting than nicotine. Nicotine is a really good, consistent, it's more of a habit thing. You know what I mean? Like this happens, after that, well, you got to have a cigarette. This happens, you got to have a cigarette, And some people, the habit is everything that goes on. They just got to have a cigarette. But, when you're low, it brings you up. When you're up, it takes you a little higher. And then pot was like, it wasn't consistent, It was like, it would do something to me different every time. So I didn't like the erratic. Well, I did like it, but I'm talking about overall average, overall batting averages. If you're a drug coach, okay. So you're talking to all your drugs out here. All right, we got marijuana over here. Marijuana is like a relief pitcher. You know what I mean? Like you pull it you pull it out of the bullpen when you need it at certain times. When she wants to smoke pot and then just have sex. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, roll one up. Let's go. Let's rock and roll, baby. and then you got cocaine over here on this side. It's like, all right, it's time to clean the stadium. Let's whiff a little cocaine and the stadium will be clean. You know, I never have needed that much stimulant I've got, I'll never forget in college, the first time I saw some guy doing it. But euphoria, it is really difficult to argue with euphoria. And I tried mushrooms a couple of times. Now those were cool. Oh, whoa. I was in Boulder, Colorado, and these aren't doing anything. They had like a big trash bag to eat. Everybody was grabbing handfuls of it. And then I'm walking down this little creek that ran through the house or the apartment complex. It's called Canyon Creek Apartments. And I got like an 8-foot neon tube. I'm making the Star Wars noise. So, drugs were more of like for entertainment value. And I'll never forget people, hey, let's get Henry Stone and see what he says, kind of like a Robin Williams routine, And, but so like then one time I was like, get high and like, I wouldn't say anything. I get, oh, whoa, what happened? What was that? So recreation, drugs were like a recreation, like an event, a recreation. The mall company that I worked for enabled me. God bless them. I had a chauffeur for a year in Colorado when I got a DUI. And what is all this? What's all this drug talk mean today? It's about being with my girls, and today being able to live by example. I never could figure that out with my parents. Like, as they're drinking a scotch and a vodka, you got to quit drinking. Yeah, probably. Yes, that was a bonehead move, whatever I'd done at the moment. Why the fuck can't you quit drinking? And my stepdad, drunk, misses one of those little chairs, I'll never forget a buddy of mine was over there. It's like, like he's sitting in there. It was like Dr. Evil, going up the stairs. So he was Dr. Evil in the end. So Dr. Evil's trying to get in his chair to go downstairs to his bedroom, and boom, he misses the fucking chair and head over heels. And that was on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, he looked like he was beat up. I had talked to my mom, or talked to him. I go, she finally got you, didn't she? He went out of the house on the 26th, paralyzed, never got home. I don't know if it was Famous Grouse or Johnny Walker Black. Boy, but we used to drink some scotch out there. Ooh. And scotch, boy, if it has an acquired taste, I acquired it. But it was actually one of the most beautiful dinners I had with my, I'm going to say that I've had with my girls. It was like I could almost be at the table and be an adult and not be, being being the responsible one, being the guy, the go-to guy. You know what I mean? And that felt good because you don't quit or you never get out of being a parent, and especially with girls. A daughter's a daughter for the rest of your life. But you can't just one day say, you know what, you're adults, you're grown kids. I'm relieved of the responsibility. I'm hereby bequeathed free time. Nope, doesn't work. That was one of the things we talked about was, and I'm probably a little more critical about Renee in front of Jade than Bianca, because Jade's looked at it from a 33-year-old, from 10,000 feet. And Renee definitely quit me, and especially over Easter. And I was what are they, the euphemism, butthurt. I was butthurt over it because for years I always hosted the Thanksgivings, the Easters, the Christmases, never made sure, Renee always had access to Bianca, never was shitty, she got to bring her boyfriends. I know that Jade's only my stepdaughter, but we're July 13th. And, so me wanting to watch my daughter, Bianca, spend time with her sister, that's legitimate. I think I'm in the range there. I think that's a legitimate deal, really. So we got to talk a little bit about spiritualism and whether you believe in the Trinity or not, whether you believe in God or not. It's almost like to get to the kids, you got to break it down like Star Wars. They're like, there's the right side of the Force and there's the dark side. God's this, the light side, the devil's the dark side. Because there is good and evil, and there's good and evil in you. And it's being able to master the self-control over the dark side, the evil. And, whether it's being able to maintain your habits, or use the self-discipline not to call those drug guys off the bench. If you want eternal life, live your life today like you're going to live eternally. Treat your temple such that, hey, dude, I'm going to live forever. So exercise, detox from sugar. Don't call the drug guys off the bench, even for recreation. So did the positive energy of the universe enter back into Jesus Christ's body and resurrect him from the dead. We may never know. You must have faith to believe it. Or one day we will definitely know. One day we will definitely know all the answers, my friend. The answers, my friend. You know what I mean? But today, you got to get up, you got to engage, you got to be a part of the deal, you got to live your life right, you got to do the right thing, take care of your temple, be good to people, try to contribute back to society, be a capitalist, go get a job, do something. You know, you got to do something. You got to show up to the game of life. You know, you are the coach. You are the coach of your own life, and put yourself into it. I'm thinking about the sunrise service at the Carroll Chapel tomorrow because I've been thinking about going back to college. I think I'm going to enroll in astronomy. I am as thirsty for knowledge as I used to be Scotch. For those of you that know me, you know that I was pretty thirsty. I believe I'm here. I could be here from the miracle of life, from my mom and dad procreating after 20 years of marriage. But here I am. So the two lives you live are the one you live now and the one you live when you realize you only have one life. But I sure had another shot at it. I sure have another shot at it. So resurrect yourself. This will go down as the self-resurrection video. You got an opportunity to resurrect yourself, to make changes in your life. If you're bad, do good. If you're drunk, get sober. If you're stoned and don't function, quit getting stoned. I don't think any of that stuff should be illegal and forbidden. I think that's the wrong way to go. I think it's the mastery of the self-discipline to leave the majority of the drug players on the bench. Boy, there's somebody that I do miss. And I wonder what their Easter's like. This person crucified people when they determined that they didn't fit into their life anymore. And that was their way of throwing away people. I guess. All right. Nobody called? Or maybe the phone's downstairs with the ringer off. I don't know. Well, thanks for tuning in today. Happy Easter. Henry McClure with the confession. Henry McClure celebrating the resurrection. Happy Easter.